Hey, what's up, guys? Gene Fetty with AAI, back with another one of our ChatGPR series. In this episode, or this session, we've got Mr. Nick Priest at CollisionTech_Nick on social. Nick is a body man, former body man, recently turned PDR tech, and also co-host of the Smash Masters podcast with Mr. Stefan Eschi. Did I get it right?
That's right.
I said it wrong. Yeah. Who's You Break, I Fix 47. And I believe you two met. We'll get into that. I believe you two met through your social media influence. So, Nick, welcome to the show. Give us a little bit of background. How did you get into body work? How did you end up where you are today? And where does glue pull fall into that?
Well, I got into body work around 2002, early teen. So I started doing that. I got into building total cars, cutting cars in half, putting them back together, all that stuff. So back then, to me, in my world, fixing small dents wasn't really in the category. We had a lot of old ways, a lot of them old grumpy men body ways like you're talking about. So
right.
I did get the pleasure of learning all those and, being able to do them. So fast forward to about 2010, I started into production collision work. I got into all that stuff. Done pretty good with it, learned a lot of new things, and about 2018 I started, like I mentioned, the glue pulling, the Kiko glue pulling kit.
Right.
Got started up, and that was a learning curve. Back then there wasn't really the processes down pat, at least out in the open,
Yeah, that's early collision glue pull. That's right when one of our other guests, Dave Shalot, like he was just coming into Kiko. Kiko was just making those moves into collision around then.
Yeah, so it wasn't really, I guess, dominant then. It was just starting to really kick off. So I did that, struggled through that for a little while, got that down pat, and then 2020 I started picking up PDR tools and making the transition to where I am today. I started my own business last month officially. Finally got out of the body shop part completely. So
out of collision and into full PDR. That's awesome. So maybe it's an early trend, but I feel like I'm starting to see an early trend of body technicians who are embracing GPR, embracing top quality repairs, tighter finishes, moving into some push tools. What are you seeing, right? Because you were pretty in touch and you have a pretty decent following on social of body techs or younger techs wanting to get into body. Is that something that you're seeing that GPR is helping to drive higher level repairs and switch techs maybe from being just a parts changer to back into a true craftsman?
Yeah, so you look on social media, you see Kiko and Danny Hacker going all over the world, and you see all these groups of body techs just coming together. But yeah, if you just don't look at that and you get down into the everyday shops, the guys that don't know who Kiko is, don't know all that, they're still looking at individual social platforms and trying to figure out how they can get into it. And I get questions all the time. How can I get, what tools do I need? How can I get started in this? Can you give me some pointers? So it's definitely out there. We're still in an early stage, I think, but
right.
People are definitely grasping onto it. Whether or not everybody wants to go to PDR work or
no, of course not. Of course
sometimes they just want a little better, easier way to get their documented time, because that's been a big deal, like getting the light and writing the estimates.
Right.
That's been a huge help. Just little stuff like that. There's questions that I'm doing my best to try and help answer, and I know you guys are doing the same. So,
Sure. Yeah, it's really an exciting time, even with where GPR is moving into the collision space. Right, we're still early, right, in that learning curve or the adoption curve. Right, we're still very, very early in that space. So you said you started with Kiko tools and tabs. Did you jump right in and buy a full system? Did you just start with some small tools? How did you start? And did you buy it or did the shop?
No, I convinced the shop to buy it, and it was on an aluminum panel.
Okay.
And it was a Kiko set. It was a smaller set. It come with a bridge puller, a couple of tabs, a glue gun, heat gun, and maybe a K-bar. Yeah, it was a K-bar in there, a couple of small attachments. So it was a relatively small kit, but it was enough to get you going. It was enough to, get acquainted with glue pulling. So, yeah.
And how did that change your approach to repairing cars? We shared this story a little bit yesterday, but I'd like the world to hear it a little bit.
Yeah. So, like I said, there was a little bit of a learning curve back then. So it was kind of a struggle, but I didn't let that get to me. I went ahead and struggled through it. But after you get the process down, you can move so much metal so much faster than you could with key tabs or wiggle wire, even tack and pull plates. It's just, and if you make a bad pull, you just peel it off and start over. You didn't do any intrusive damage to the panel. Right.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and it was always something we talked about at Kiko was, traditional body repair methods create damage to fix damage, and glue pull repair is the exact opposite, where the first thing you're doing is reducing the size of the damage. You're shrinking damage right from the word go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big difference. If there's a body tech out there listening, maybe one of your followers, they're kicking around the idea of glue pull repair or thinking about trying to talk the shop into it, what advice would you give to a technician or a shop that's thinking about dipping their toes into the glue pull repair world?
Well, I would say start with, if you can, start with training. You can start with just the basics, kind of like I did. It's always better, to be acquainted with more of the tools, but
sure.
Like everybody else has mentioned, get a glue, stick with it, learn it, and see what you can and can't do with it. And who knows, you can fix, there's all these glues give you a wide variety of things you can do. So I would say, yeah, the training's the most important at this point. It'll get you a lot faster than having to struggle through it with months of, trial and error and wasted material.
Right. Well, I always think you can either spend time. If you don't have any money, you spend your time. If you got a little bit of money, spend your money, and you can buy that time back and learn faster.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and obviously, if you got a shop willing to invest in you, then that's you've got a really good shop to begin with. So
no question there. So you've attended now in-person training.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on an in-person training event? How does that benefit a technician, even somebody who's been glue pulling for years?
Well, after getting out of the class, I think I'd have to carry the information home in a backpack. There's so much to learn. There's so much you don't really at the end of every session you'd say, is there questions? Anybody have questions? And there really isn't, because you explained it to so much detail that, all you really need is just the tools and the stuff and go. So it's great.
So get some training, buy some tools, and go to town.
Yep, absolutely.
I like it. You're hired. We did not pay him to say that.
No, no. It's just it is a really great course, and I would highly encourage anybody to go through it.
Nice. So Nick, you've built a pretty good, maybe a little step away from glue pull and more into just day to day. You've built a pretty good following on social media in the trades, right? And you see that with Blue Collar Kyle was the first one that came to mind, and we see Stefan and other ones that are out there. What does it take to get started, right? For the guys that are out there that are a technician like Nick or like myself, what would your advice be to somebody who wants to start creating content and putting it out there? How do you get started doing that? I
would say just be engaging, be supportive of the other people, be encouraging to people. And if you're brand new to social media, video editing like I am, then a lot of these people will give you advice and steer you in the right direction. So that would be some of my main advice for that.
Nice. And what do you use to shoot your content? Are you just grabbing your phone? Is it that simple? You got a camera? What?
I use a GoPro and I use my phone.
Okay.
That's really all I use.
Right.
So you don't need a bunch of heavy equipment to start out. You just really need a tripod and a couple ideas, and you can run with it.
And that's it. Nice and easy.
Yep.
How did you and Stefan get hooked up, and how did the Smash Masters podcast or show, how did that get started?
Yeah, so we met on actually TikTok.
Okay.
About 2 years ago now. He didn't have much following then, and I didn't either. So again, like my advice, just being supportive of people. Now it was through that, he had videos coming out, and I would just like and comment on his stuff, and I would come out with videos, and he started doing the same, and before you know it, we was kind of collabing on a few things. Dance, he would get on TikTok live, and then I would join in on his TikTok live and other guys, and that's
just have those conversations
and just have daily conversations of fixing collision repair damage and talking, just kind of like we are here, except just on live on TikTok.
Right. That's pretty cool. Social media, that's I call it the good side of social media. That's what the PDR space, right? Welcome to the PDR space. Is a really small, like we're all over the world. California, right? Texas, Arizona, via Chicago, Pittsburgh, South Dakota. We're all sitting in this room. Mississippi.
Yeah.
We're all here because of social media, right?
Yeah.
It's what has drawn and made the world smaller in a good way. So yeah, don't be afraid to put it out there and share and be encouraging. I would second Nick's advice there.
Yeah. Just always be encouraging, and just leave the negativity at the house. That's all I really have to say.
Nice. So we'll part with this. What is your favorite glue pull repair tool or tab?
My favorite glue pull repair tool or tab,
or hammer, knockdown, whatever. What is your favorite go-to tool? What are you going to go to first? What are you going to lean to?
Well, as far as a tab, I would say probably, just depending on the dents. I like gangrene tabs, the square tabs. I like those kind of. But glue, I use. I've been using Anson collision glue.
Okay.
And you can do big dents. You can do small dents, and it is difficult really to let some of those small tabs go even after you spray alcohol on it. So
it really, when you follow the process, man, it sticks.
It's ridiculous. And I would say, well, it really just depends on the damage, but my go-to tool would be like a rod would be Ultra Dent Tools 36 double bend with screw-on to any screw-on.
There you go.
Tool.
Yeah,
So,
the 36 double bend, especially from Dentcraft.
Dentcraft. I've got a Dentcraft one too, so it's got a different little bend on it. So between those two, I mean,
you really can get a lot of places. You go down on a door, you go up on a fender. Yep. Great tools. Well, good deal, Nick. Well, thanks for coming by. Thanks for attending the training yesterday, and make sure you guys go follow him at collisiontech_Nick and the Smash Masters videos page on Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube,
and catch that show. I think it's every other Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern and recorded. So check it out. Episode 2 was a really good episode. So make sure you watch that one. All right, Nick, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks.